Once you get to the point where you're ready to go solo, start working as an independent contractor, doing remote programming, going out on site, maybe even hiring your own people, running your own show, the first thing that you have to do is, obviously, make sure you've got the skills, okay? If you've been hanging on somebody else's coattails, asking a bunch of questions, how do I do this, how do I do that, can you check over my work, and things like that, you are not ready to be an independent contractor, okay? Let's be honest with ourselves. But once you've got a couple years experience, you can handle what anybody throws at you. If you don't have the answer, you know where to go to find it. You can get the job done. Okay, you're ready to do this thing and you're ready to be taking all the money for it. First thing you got to do is find those opportunities. And honestly, one really great way that I always used to find my contractor opportunities is I would, if you remember back in the one of the earlier talks where I was explaining how to find work as a PLC programmer, how to find a job, I would do the exact same thing to find contracts. I would look on places like Craigslist or LinkedIn, anybody who's talking about PLC or posting PLC-related jobs. I don't even care what the job is. If it's anything about PLC, then they would probably get an email from me offering to help them out. Hey, my name's Paul. I'm a PLC programmer. I have this experience. I'm not, some big, I didn't send them my resume, but just, I've got 10 years experience doing this, and this type of project. If I can be of any assistance to you at this point or in the future, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email and let's talk about it. And that's all they would get from me. And, even though these people didn't even think about hiring a contractor, a lot of them, in fact, almost all of the people that hired me were people that were actually looking for an employee. But they responded to my approach. It was simple, it was casual, it was confident. And they, hey, I'm really looking for an employee, but just out of curiosity, how would this thing work? How much do you charge? And so we'd get in a little conversation, and I was very upfront with them. Hey, I work like this, that, this. If you want, let's give it a go for a project, and if you like it, maybe you'll want to do another project with me, and if not, well, you haven't really lost anything. What do you say? And yeah, okay, sure, let's give it a go. And, a couple of these guys, it wasn't just we've got one project that needs done until we find a normal employee. A couple of these guys just gave up on the idea of having an employee altogether and said, hell, we're just going to send you like all of our PLC work. Can you handle it? Gotcha. Don't worry about it. And they never even saw me face to face. I worked remotely and I just did all their PLC programming. Simple stuff. So how do you find work as a contractor? Same avenues. Get on LinkedIn and network. Get in your local area. Introduce yourself to the different industrial companies, factories, things like that. Typically like OEMs, that are designing their own equipment. You can find these online, Chamber of Commerce, local business directories. There's usually a way to figure out who's in your area. If there's an industrial park, just drive around the industrial park, and when you see a name you don't recognize, Google it and see what they do, If you need to get really old school about it, get out on the street, knock on doors, walk into offices. Hey, I was just passing by here. I pass by here a lot, and I was just wondering, what the hell do you guys do anyway? Oh, you do that? That's great. Well, hey, I'm a PLC programmer, and if you guys need any help, here's my card. I live in the area. Just go ahead and give me a call, and I'll come over and see if we can work something out. So 100 ways to find work as a contractor, and pretty much they're all the same ways that you would find employment as a PLC programmer. Offer your service and see when you get a response. Treat them fairly, negotiate with them fairly. Don't ever bite off more than you can chew. Obviously, that's kind of contractor career suicide. If you have doubts about a job, don't sit there and say, oh, yes, I can do it. And then come back a week later, oh, sorry, I couldn't do it, I'm stupid. No, don't do that. Maybe you've never done something before, but you know what it takes to get the job done. Hey, that's forgivable. That's not a problem. That's not biting off more than you can chew. That's biting off something you just haven't chewed before. Okay, there's a difference. But, just because there's a lot of money on the table, don't say yes to something that is clearly way outside of what you can do. You don't know anything about it. You don't know what goes into it. You're just like, oh sure, I can do that. Don't. You're screwing them over. You're screwing yourself over. Everyone's going to have a bad time. But yeah, don't take on work you aren't ready for. Don't take on work you aren't equipped for. Don't take on work you don't understand. But go out, hunt the stuff down. It's a numbers game, just like finding an employee or finding employment as a PLC programmer. Don't reach out to 2 or 3 people a day. Reach out to 200 or 300 people a day. You'll get the work. Handle it wisely, and I'll talk about that in the next couple of talks. But handle that work well. Be somebody that they enjoy working with, that's easy to work with, and that makes their lives easier. And guess what? You'll have a successful contracting career.